This video is a tutorial for Gmail on the iPad. Gmail is an email app from Google that lets you check, send and manage your emails. Despite the name of the app, this app can be used with a variety of email address companies and not just Gmail. We'll go through all of this in the tutorial. Timestamps are available in the description below if there is a specific feature you are looking for. Otherwise, sit back and enjoy this tutorial video. When you open the Gmail app and have signed into your account, you'll see the app is separated into 3 columns. On the left, we have a menu of different icons that gives us access to different categories of email. We can tap on the 3 lines in the top left corner of the screen to see what each of the different icons mean. Within this menu, we can also access the settings for the app. We'll return to this menu shortly. The second column is a list of emails that we have received. When we tap on an email, it is displayed in the column on the right of the app. At the bottom of the app, we have 2 icons. We can switch between email and Google Meet. In the top right corner, we have some icons that are actions for the emails we have displayed. We'll also come back to these later in the tutorial. To access the app settings, tap on the 3 lines in the top left corner of the screen. Then towards the bottom of the menu, you'll see Settings. The first option lets you manage your Google account. These are settings for your Google account, not just for Gmail. You'll find 2 links here. One called Your Info, Privacy and Security, and the other, Blocked Users, shows you a list of users you have blocked in your Google account. Tap on Your Info, Privacy and Security. This section is separated into several tabs. Under Home, you can see a summary of information found on the other tabs. These include settings for privacy and personalization. Under Personal Info, you can update the information attached to your Google account. This includes your profile picture, display name, date of birth, gender, and contact information. Under Data and Privacy, you can choose what information Google retains about you in order to deliver relevant content and ads. This includes web, YouTube, and location history. Under Security, you can make adjustments to the security of your account, including setting up 2-step verification and a recovery email address, in case you lose access to your account. Under People and Sharing, you can change settings related to your contacts and set up a family group on Google. Back on the settings for your Google account, we can explore many other settings specific to Gmail. At the top, we have Chat and Meet. One is to show or hide chat, which will add an additional button on the bottom of the main screen, giving you access to Google Chat and Spaces. Underneath, we can do the same thing with Google Meet. Both of these settings give you access to many other communication features of Google's wider suite of apps, all within the Gmail app. We'll explore these other functions towards the end of this tutorial. Further down on the Account Settings menu, we can see notification options. From the first menu, you can choose if you want to be notified of all emails, only high priority emails, or to turn off notifications. This also lets you choose a custom sound whenever you receive a new email. Then, under Inbox Type, we can choose what type of inbox we want to display when we open the app. Default is ticked by default, and this will display your emails chronologically by date and time received. Important is greyed out unless you have turned on Smart Features. Important will let Google decide on what emails are most important and display these first. Unread First will group all unread emails at the top, or if you have starred an email, these can be displayed first. A priority inbox will display emails chronologically, but things like notification emails and newsletters will not be shown at the top. Under Inbox Customizations, we have Inbox Categories. Turning these on will mean specific types of emails will be grouped together into separate inboxes. The categories you can enable include social media notification emails, marketing and newsletters, forum notifications, and updates, which includes things like bills and receipts. When these are enabled, emails are automatically categorized into separate inboxes. To get to these, you can access them from the main menu of the app. Under Inbox Tips, you can show or hide occasional tips on how to unsubscribe from emails that you rarely read. Next, we have labels. This lets us create and manage custom labels, which are essentially like folders, which appear on the left menu. In this section, you can assign senders' emails to automatically be labelled to help you manage your inbox. We'll cover this in depth later in the tutorial. Next, we can choose the conversation list density, which is what's displayed on your list of messages. Default will show a preview of the email plus a summary of attachments. Comfortable will show a preview of the email without a summary of attachments. Then Compact will only show the sender and the title of the email. Email Swipe Actions lets you choose what happens when you swipe over an email in your inbox. You can choose what happens when you right swipe or left swipe. We'll cover what this looks like later in this tutorial. Your options are to archive, bin or delete, mark as read or unread, snooze, move, or to disable the swipe function. The next item is called Snooze Settings. This lets you set the notification times when you choose to snooze an email, a function we'll look at a bit later on. To change a setting, tap on morning, afternoon, evening or weekend. Then choose a time of when you want to receive a notification of a snoozed email. Below this is something called Conversation View. This is where responses to a particular email are grouped together, instead of emails from the same thread being displayed lower down in your inbox. It's common in most email apps to have this feature turned on, as it is here. You do have the option of disabling this though. Next, you can set up an out-of-office auto-reply. When you toggle this on, you can set a start and end date for the auto-response. Then you can add a subject, main message, and then choose whether or not you want to send it to everyone or just people in your contacts. Back on the settings menu, the next option is called Signature Settings. From here, you can enable a mobile signature. When you do this, you can enter a basic email signature, which will be placed at the bottom of each email that you send. Under Smart Reply, you can allow Gmail to suggest replies when responding to messages, and Smart Compose provides predictive suggestions as you are typing emails. Next on the settings menu, you have Default Apps, which lets you choose which apps open whenever you click on something in an email. You can choose a default browser, navigation app, and calendar app. Below this is Siri Shortcuts, which lets you set up voice commands via Siri to carry out certain functions like sending an email. Under Data Usage, we have a few different options. You can tap on Sync Settings to change how many days back emails will sync to each device you have signed into. The default is 30, which means emails sent to you in the last 30 days will be displayed. You can increase this to 90 days or decrease it to a single day. Below this, you can enable or disable whether attachments are automatically downloaded when you're connected to Wi-Fi. Finally, you can limit data usage, which will reduce call quality to save data and battery when using Google Meet. Under Data Privacy, we have Smart Features and Personalization. By default, this is enabled, and this option lets you choose whether or not you want Google to use your email, chat, and video messages to provide smart features. These include predictive writing suggestions and suggested replies. Let's now go back to the main screen where we can view the emails that we have received. The left column shows us the emails as a list. Notice how unread emails display the sender and the title of the email in bold. As explained in the settings part of this tutorial, it is possible to show all unread emails at the top of the list instead of spread out chronologically as they are currently on this screen. Emails in the left column can be interacted with without opening them. Swipe gestures are available and can be set up in the settings menu discussed in the last section of this tutorial. In my setup for Gmail, swiping left to right will mark the email as read or unread, and swiping from right to left will snooze the email. Long pressing on an email in the left column will select it. You will know if an email is selected as a large blue circle with a tick inside will appear to the left of the email. Once you're in selection mode, you can then tap on other emails in the list to create multiple selections. This lets you manage emails in bulk, for example if you want to archive or delete them. Underneath the date of each email, you'll see a star. Tapping this will star the email, adding it to a special inbox of emails you want to save and get quick access to later on. Above the list of emails in this column, you can see a search bar. Here you can search for emails from specific people, but you can also use the search bar to do many more things. For example, if I type attachment, I can search for emails that have an attachment. If I search for a file type, for example JPEG, it will search the inbox for attachments that have JPEG images. Inside the search bar to the right, you'll see your profile picture. Tapping this brings up a window letting you manage your Google account or add another one. To read an email, tap on it. Its contents are displayed on the right column of the screen. This column can be interacted with to view and manage emails too. Firstly, to zoom into contents of an email, you can use pinch to zoom. In the top right corner of the screen, there are numerous buttons letting you manage each email in a different way. The arrow pointing to the left is Reply. Tapping this lets you reply to the email with the original email displayed below your new message. Next to this is 3 dots. This brings up a small menu. Revert auto-sizing shows the email back at its original size if you have previously used pinch to zoom in. Then you have Forward, which will open up a new message with the email below, allowing you to pass this email on to another person or company. Finally, we have Print. If you have a printer connected or an AirPrint enabled printer on your network, you'll be able to print your email using this option. Then, right at the top of the screen, we have 4 more icons. The first one is a box with a downwards facing arrow. This is called Archive. Tapping this removes the email from your main inbox and puts it in an archive inbox instead. The second option lets you delete the email. The third icon lets you mark the email as read or unread. And the last button is 3 dots. Tapping these 3 dots opens a large menu with a lot of different options for what you want to do with the email. First of all, we have Snooze. This will temporarily remove the email from your inbox until a time you specify, whereby it will reappear in your inbox looking like a newly received email. You can snooze an email until tomorrow, later in the week, this weekend, next week, or you can select a custom date and time. The snooze function is useful if you've received an email that requires you to take an action on something, but you don't want to do it there and then, but also don't want to forget about it either. Back on the three dots menu, the next option is called Move. This lets you move the email to a different inbox or folder. Label lets you apply a label to the email, which is useful for categorizing and managing large amounts of emails. Mark as important will show the email in a special inbox called Important, which can be accessed from the left menu. We'll talk more about this later in the tutorial. Mute will allow you to mute a conversation, for example if you receive lots of replies to the same email. Report Spam lets you report this email as junk mail to Google and ensure future emails sent from this address are moved to your spam folder automatically. View in Light theme shows up if you currently have Gmail open in dark mode. This will set the background of the email to white, which can help with readability. Print All will print the contents of the whole email chain, and Add to Tasks will add your email to a task list in Google Tasks if you have this app installed. If you have received an email with an attachment, these are displayed at the bottom of the email. To open an attachment, you can tap on it. To close the attachment, tap on the X in the top left corner of the screen. In the top right corner of the screen, you have two buttons. The first lets you save the attachment directly to your Google Drive account. The second button opens the iPad's share sheet, letting you share the attachment to a different app or save it to the Files app instead. Let's now take a look at the menu on the left side of the screen. If you have more than one account signed in, you'll see a few different icons. The top button is 3 lines, which opens up the main menu, which we'll look at in a minute. Below this is a button that lets you view all inboxes, which covers every account currently signed in. Below that is a button that lets you view the inbox of the currently signed in account. To switch between accounts, tap on your profile picture in the search bar, then from the list choose the account you wish to view. Let's tap on the 3-line button in the top left of the screen. This opens a menu showing you all the different inboxes and folders on the account. All inboxes shows all emails received from every account currently signed in. Starred shows any emails you have previously starred, covered in the last section of this tutorial. Snoozed contains the emails you have used the snooze function on, and Important shows emails that you have marked as important, using the 3-dot menu discussed previously. Sent shows you emails you have previously sent from this account. Scheduled shows an outbox of emails not currently sent, but where you have scheduled them to be sent later on. We'll talk about scheduling emails in the next part of this tutorial. Drafts contains emails you haven't sent yet, but have chosen to save to edit later on. All emails is exactly what it says and shows you all emails. Spam shows messages that have automatically been placed here on what Google thinks is junk mail. It's worth checking this folder from time to time to ensure you haven't missed anything. Bin is where deleted emails are kept before being automatically deleted. Below this is a section called Labels. This contains labels that you have previously created and any emails you've added a label to. To create a new label, tap on Create New. You can then type the name of your new label and tap Done when you have finished. To label an email, tap the 3 dots in the top right corner above the email, then choose Label. You can then assign your label to that email. The last few items on this menu we've already discussed, including Settings, which is covered in the first part of this tutorial. If you want to send an email from scratch, tap the Compose button at the bottom of the left column. This opens up a new window, allowing you to send an email. Begin typing the email address you want to send a message to. To use CC or BCC, tap the arrow at the end of this line, and the entry fields for these will appear. From displays the email address you are sending this email from if you are signed into more than one account. Tap the email address to change it to a different account. Subject is where you'll add the title of your email, then compose email is where you will type your main message. When you are typing the main body of your message, you have a few formatting options. Above the keyboard in the top right, you can see options to make the text bold, italicize it, or underline it. To select some text, double tap on it, then drag the blue handles to expand or contract your selection. A contextual menu appears, letting you cut, copy, paste, and select all. Format gives you the same text formatting options discussed earlier. Then tapping the arrow lets you translate the selected text to a different language. Finally, you can search the web for the selected text. To add an attachment to your email, click the paperclip icon at the top of the window. This will let you add photos from your iPad's photo library or attach a file from Google Drive. Attachments are displayed below the text of your email. To remove an attachment, tap on it and a menu with Remove on it will appear. Once you have typed your email, you have a few different options. Tapping the X in the top left corner will close this message and save it to your drafts folder. The arrow in the shape of a paper plane in the top right will send the message straight away. Tapping the three dots icon brings up a small menu containing three options. Schedule Send lets you automatically send this email at a later date and time. The menu gives some preset options such as tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, and Monday morning, or you can pick a custom date and time. Scheduled emails can be viewed in the Scheduled folder in the left menu, discussed in the last section of this tutorial. Confidential mode lets you protect sensitive information. If you send a confidential email to another Gmail user, it will look like a normal email, except they won't be able to print, copy, download, or forward it. A confidential email sent to non-Gmail users will show the email as a link, which the recipient must click on in order to view the message. You have some additional options for sending confidential emails, which are found on this screen. You are able to set an expiry time for the email and choose how long the email is available for from the list that appears when you tap on it. Finally, you can set a passcode. This can be a standard passcode which is generated by Google, or you can use SMS, which will send the passcode to the recipient via a text message. Just be aware, confidential emails cannot be scheduled. Back on the three dots menu, the final option is to discard the email, which will delete the message before it can be sent. This will not save your message to the drafts folder. If you've enabled chat and Google Meet in the settings section of the app, you'll see some additional icons along the bottom of the screen. In this final section of the tutorial, I'll give you a brief overview of chat, Spaces, and Google Meet. Tap the chat icon at the bottom and you'll be presented with a list of available chats if you have any. Tap New Chat to search for a person or a space, or create a space. You'll also be able to view message requests here. Spaces are essentially group chats, and these are available in this section. To create a new space, tap New Space in the bottom right corner. You'll be able to give your space a name, description, and set a custom icon. The last icon is for Google Meet. Here you can tap New Meeting to set up a video call. You'll be able to generate a link to share with other people, or schedule a meeting in Google Calendar. Alternatively, you can tap Join with a code if you have been given a code to join a meeting by someone else running a Google Meet session. That's the end of this tutorial for Gmail on the iPad. If you want to check out some other videos, I have tutorials on Google Meet, Drive, Docs, Sheets and Slides on the iPad. If you're interested in other email apps, I've created a tutorial for Microsoft Outlook on the iPad. If you want to use Gmail on the iPhone, I've also created a tutorial for that app as well. If you found this video useful, please like, comment and subscribe. If you want to leave a tip, please use the super thanks button here on YouTube, or you can head over to buymeacoffee.com/buzzkill to leave a tip there. PayPal, debit and credit cards and Apple Pay are all accepted. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with some more iPad tutorials.